Thanks, Mr. Secretary. Thank you so much for joining us, for your past service to our country and your current service and your leadership. Would you like to take a minute of time to respond to any questions you didn't have a chance to respond to?
Thank you for the opportunity. I look forward to your questions.
All right, thanks. A number of us had the privilege of traveling to the Northern Triangle countries, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, repeatedly in bipartisan groups. I hope to be part of one of those later this year, and look forward to some of the members of this committee joining me at that time. We're reminded in Scripture that when I was a stranger in your land, did you welcome me? We're reminded in Flores' decision, which actually reflects and mirrors, I think, very much the message in Matthew 25. I think Matthew 25 is a moral obligation that we have to the least of these, including people who are trying to escape violence and crime and corruption and lack of opportunity, which we're implicit in. We're implicit in. By virtue of our addiction to illegal drugs that are trafficked through these countries, we're implicit in their misery. And the question is, what are we going to do about it? And I would suggest that what we do about it is walk and chew gum at the same time. We got some charts here that indicate what's been going on at CBP in terms of how long we're holding kids and so forth. Let's see, average number of hours. Children in CBP custody. What was it in March 28th? 103 hours. What was it on May the 11th? 26 hours in CBP custody. That's a reduction of 80%. That's improvement. Do you have another chart? Number of children in CBP custody. On March 28th, 5,767 children were in CBP custody, almost 6,000. May 10th, what is that, 2 days ago? We had 455 children in CBP custody. That's a reduction of 92%. That's an improvement. That's a marked improvement. And I just want to say to you, but particularly the folks at CBP, the Department of Health and Human Services, whose work is making this possible and this progress possible, good work. If we want to do something about these charts we've been shown by our colleagues with the most recent surge, we can do something about that, my friends. We can do something about that. 3 primary reasons why people are coming out of these countries to try to get up here. Number 1, lack of opportunity and hope. Number 2, crime and violence. Number 3, corruption. We created something called the Alliance for Prosperity a number of years ago. The idea that we would put money into fighting those 3 ills: crime and corruption, crime and violence, corruption, lack of economic opportunity. And the idea was that we would provide some money, and in return, each of these countries would provide money, a lot more than we're going to provide. Number 2, we're going to try to leverage money from other countries to help out in these 3 areas. To leverage money from NGOs to work and focus on these 3 areas. The most recent trip I took was down to the borders with Codell about a month ago. And we saw some indication that this kind of progress could be realized. I just want to take my hat off to CBP folks. The folks that men and women are down on the border doing this work every day. And I just want to take my hand off to the folks from HHS who are taking a hand off and trying to do difficult work, important work, but in compliance with Flores. Let me ask Mr. Chairman, how important is it, and I'm going to ask you to be very brief in your responses. We have not had a U.S. ambassador in Honduras for 4 years. 4 years. No confirmed U.S. ambassador in Honduras for 4 years. We've not had we don't have a U.S. confirmed ambassador in El Salvador right now. We have a pretty good ambassador. I think I talked to him just this past week. Highly regarded. I think he's doing a good job. But if we want to do something about changing these numbers, why don't we confirm? Why don't we get some from this new administration? They've had a chance to get their feet wet now. We need them to nominate career ambassadors, and we need to hold speedy hearings, vet them, and vote them up or down. I think that one of the best things we can do is put in place career ambassadors with Senate confirmation, Senate support. as much as anything. We need to make sure that they're surrounded by terrific staff in the embassies in Honduras, Guatemala, and Salvador. They need to be the counterbalance to all the thugs and the crooks and the criminals down there that are using drug money that we provide to continue to screw up those countries. That's the first thing we can do. Second thing we can do, and I think, here's my question. I actually am going to ask a question. The ability for whether young people or not so young people to apply for asylum within their own countries, at our embassies, at our consulates, is that something that we're doing a satisfactory job in doing? And if not, is there something that we, on our side, need to do to make that possible?
Thank you very much, Senator Carper. We're very focused on that. As I articulated at the very outset in my opening remarks, we have a three-prong approach to address the root causes, to build legal pathways, and to advocate for, with the hope that Congress will pass immigration reform. And with respect to that second prong, I think that's what your question goes to, the building of legal pathways. If we can, in fact, adjudicate claims in the countries of origin or in truly safe places, then we will spare children the perilous journey north.
Why is it important? Why is it important for the Congress to take up and actually debate and pass comprehensive immigration reform? Why is that important in this debate today?
I think we all agree. The one thing that there is unanimity about is the fact that our current system is absolutely broken, and we can provide fixes through the legislation that has been proposed and is pending.
Let me say to my colleagues, I'm not surprised but disappointed with the tenor of this hearing today. There's a problem here that needs to be addressed. There are a bunch of problems that need to be addressed. And our pointing fingers at one another and one administration and the other, that ain't going to solve the problems. There are some things we can do and need to do, and if we'll follow up and work together across the aisle, and with this new administration, we can make great progress. We can turn this around. And I want to do that. And I want to do it with all of you. Thank you.